Gentlemen, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a conversation with a woman you really like, and your mind just goes blank? You're sitting there, wanting to connect with her on a deeper level, but the only things that come out are the usual small talk. So, how's your day? What do you do for work? Do you like movies? Now don't get me wrong, small talk has its place. But here's the truth. Small talk doesn't create spark. Small talk doesn't make her remember you when she lies awake at night, replaying the conversation in her head. Small talk doesn't make her feel anything. And that's the key word right there, feel. Because when you can make a woman feel something, curiosity, excitement, playfulness, even a little vulnerability, that's when you separate yourself from every other guy who just asked about her favorite color. That's why today we're diving into 10 of the most powerful questions you can ask a girl you like. These aren't random icebreakers. These are carefully chosen, psychology-backed conversation starters designed to unlock her imagination, reveal her personality, and most importantly, build an emotional bridge between the two of you. Here's the beauty of it. When you ask the right question, you don't just get an answer. You open a doorway. A doorway into her world, her memories, her dreams, her values, and sometimes even her secrets. And if you know how to listen and respond the right way, those conversations can create a bond most men never even get close to. So in this video, I'll walk you through each of these questions, explain why they work, and show you exactly how to use them so that every interaction feels natural, exciting, and unforgettable. Ready? Let's begin with question number 1. Question 1: the time travel ticket. Imagine this. You lean in with a playful smile and ask her, if you had a one-way time travel ticket, where would you go? Now pause for a moment and let that sink in, because this isn't just small talk. It's a spark. You're giving her permission to dream, to imagine, to step outside of the everyday routine. Picture her holding that one-way ticket in her hand. Does she choose the past, maybe the 1970s, where disco lights lit up the streets, where people wore bell-bottom jeans and rebelled against the norm? Maybe she wants to meet legends of history, dance at Woodstock, or even watch the moon landing with her own eyes. If she answers that way, you instantly see that she's nostalgic. She craves history, culture, maybe even romance from a different time. Or maybe she surprises you. Maybe she says, I'd go 1,000 years into the future. Suddenly you're talking about space travel, teleportation, humans living among the stars. That tells you she's a visionary, curious about what's next, hungry for possibility. And here's the magic. No matter her answer, she's revealing something about her values. Is she a dreamer? A seeker of adventure? Someone who longs for simplicity in the past? Or someone fascinated by the unknown future? But here's where most men go wrong. They hear her answer, nod politely, and then change the subject. Don't do that. The secret is to build on it. Share your own choice, ask why she chose that moment, explore the details together. That back and forth is where the connection grows. Because remember this. When she's imagining, when she's painting that picture with you, she's not just answering a question. She's emotionally investing in the conversation. And emotions, gentlemen, are what make you unforgettable. So don't just ask the question. Use it to step into her world. Now, let's turn up the heat a little with question number 2. Question 2. The craziest, most spontaneous thing you've ever done. This one is like striking a match in the middle of a quiet room. You look at her with curiosity and ask, what's the craziest, most spontaneous thing you've ever done? And then you sit back because now her mind starts rewinding. You'll see it in her eyes, that little spark as she flips through the memories of wild nights, reckless adventures, or hidden moments she hasn't shared in years. Maybe she'll laugh and tell you about skinny dipping in the freezing ocean at midnight. Maybe she once bought a last-minute plane ticket to a country she'd never been to, simply because it felt right in the moment. Or maybe she hesitates. She freezes for a second and admits, honestly, I've never really done anything that crazy. That's your opening. That's when you flash a confident grin and say, well, I guess we'll have to change that, won't we? See, this question isn't just about hearing a fun story. It's a window into how she lives her life. Is she a thrill seeker who craves adrenaline and takes risks without hesitation? Or is she someone who values safety, comfort, and predictability? Either way, her answer tells you something deeper. Not just about her past, but about what kind of adventures she might want to experience in the future. And here's the beauty. Whether she's wild and free or cautious and grounded, you now have a chance to connect with her energy. You can share your own wild story, laugh together, or plant the seed of an adventure you might one day experience side by side. Gentlemen, remember this. Attraction often lives in contrast. If she's adventurous and you show you can keep up, she'll respect and admire you. If she's reserved but you introduce her to new experiences, you become the man who expands her world. Either way, you win. Now let's shift gears into something that seems simple, but actually reveals far more than you think. Question number 3. Question 3: city life or the woods? This one might sound simple at first, but don't let that fool you. You ask her, would you rather live in the city or in the woods? Now, on the surface, it's just two choices, but underneath, it's a psychological gem. Because her answer doesn't just reveal her preference for skylines or trees. It gives you insight into her values, her lifestyle, and even her long-term compatibility with you. If she says city, she might be drawn to the constant buzz of life, opportunities around every corner, the excitement of late-night dinners, concerts, and a calendar full of things to do. The city girl thrives on energy, people, connections, ambition, movement. But if she says the woods, that's a different soul entirely. That's the woman who craves solitude, who values peace, reflection, and the healing power of nature. She might long for mornings with coffee on a porch, quiet hikes, or nights under the stars instead of neon lights. Here's the subtle psychology. It's not just about where she'd live. It's about how she wants to live. Some people need the chaos of the city to feel alive. Others need silence to feel at peace. And here's the kicker. If your lifestyle dreams don't align, that's something to pay attention to. Because let's be real. A Wall Street workaholic and a mountain cabin dreamer rarely last without compromise. But here's where you level up. Don't stop at her answer. Watch her body language, notice the spark in her eyes. Listen to the way her tone changes as she describes her choice. Sometimes the way she answers reveals more than the words themselves. This question isn't just conversation. It's a compass. A compass pointing toward whether your worlds could someday merge or collide. Now let's raise the stakes a bit. Because the next question isn't about where she'd live. It's about what she values most when it comes to money and choices. Question 4. If I gave you $1,000 right now, picture this moment. You slide an envelope across the table, and inside is crisp cash, $1,000. Then you ask her with a curious smile, if I gave you $1,000 right now, what would you do with it? Now here's the magic. This isn't really a question about money. It's a question about values. Because money doesn't just reveal what someone wants. It reveals what they prioritize. Maybe she'll laugh and say she'd spend it instantly. A shopping spree, a plane ticket, or maybe a spontaneous weekend escape. That tells you she's someone who chases experiences, who lives in the moment, who values fun and freedom over long-term planning. Or maybe she pauses. She thinks. And she says she'd save it. Pay off student loans, tuck it into an investment, or use it to build something lasting. That reveals a woman who craves security, stability, and preparation for the future. Now here's a little psychology hack. Watch how quickly she answers. If her response is instant, it often means she knows exactly what she values most. If she takes her time, that might mean she's thoughtful, analytical, someone who weighs decisions carefully before acting. Neither answer is right or wrong, but both give you a peek into her inner world. And here's where you turn this into connection. Don't just nod and move on. Share what you would do with the money. Compare your answers. Maybe you both want to blow it on travel. Maybe one of you would save it while the other would spend it. That contrast opens the door to deeper conversations about priorities, about dreams, and even about how you'd live if you were together long term. So remember, this isn't a financial test. It's a values test. And when you understand a woman's values, you understand the foundation of who she really is. Now let's flip the mood with something a little more playful, a little more rebellious. Question number 5. Question 5. The first time you broke the law. Now here's a question that instantly adds a spark of mischief to the conversation. You look at her with a playful grin and ask, what was the first time you ever broke the law? Notice something important here. You're not asking about the last time, which could bring up something messy or uncomfortable. You're asking about the first time. That little moment of rebellion in her past, no matter how small. Maybe she laughs and admits she got her first speeding ticket the same week she got her driver's license. Maybe she and her friends once walked out of a store without paying for candy when they were kids. Or maybe she tilts her head, gives you that innocent smile and says, "Honestly, I've never broken a law in my life." And that answer is just as revealing. Because this isn't really about crime. It's about personality. Was she the rebellious teenager, always pushing boundaries, craving a rush of adrenaline? Or was she the rule follower, cautious, careful, and maybe even a little angelic? Here's the secret. When she tells you her story, she's not just giving you facts. She's letting you peek behind the curtain into her younger self. The girl she used to be, the choices she made, and the way she's evolved. That's powerful because it creates nostalgia. And nostalgia is an emotion that bonds people quickly. But here's the golden rule. Keep it light and playful. You're not interrogating her. You're not judging her. You're inviting her to share a memory, to laugh about it with you, to relive that spark of rebellion or innocence. Because when she laughs and opens up, you're no longer just two people talking. You're two people sharing a story. And stories, gentlemen, are the glue of connection. Now let's shift from law-breaking to something sweeter. Something that reveals how she wants to celebrate life. Question number 6. Question 6. What's your favorite holiday? At first glance, this one sounds simple, maybe even innocent. You ask her, "What's your favorite holiday?" But don't be fooled. This isn't just about choosing between Christmas, Halloween, or New Year's Eve. It's a doorway into how she experiences joy, how she bonds with others, and what kind of traditions matter most to her. Maybe her eyes light up as she says Halloween. The thrill of costumes, parties, and staying out late surrounded by friends and excitement. That tells you she's playful, social, and loves energy-filled celebrations. Or maybe she melts when she talks about Christmas. Decorating the tree, baking cookies, cozy nights by the fireplace. That reveals her love for warmth, intimacy, and family traditions. She finds magic in the quiet details, the little rituals that bring people closer. But what if she says she doesn't like holidays at all? Maybe she finds them stressful, overwhelming, or even a little fake. That answer is just as valuable, because it tells you she prefers peace over pressure, calm over chaos. Here's why this question matters. Holidays aren't just dates on a calendar. They're emotional markers. They show you how someone wants to celebrate life's special moments. And when you're dating, those differences matter. If she loves big parties but you prefer staying home with takeout, that mismatch can cause friction. But if you're aligned, every holiday becomes another reason to create unforgettable memories together. Pro tip. When she shares her favorite, lean in. Ask her what memory makes it so special. People light up when they relive their happiest moments, and when she shares those details with you, she's inviting you into her world. Because in the end, her answer isn't just about a holiday. It's about how she wants to share joy with you. Now let's take it a step further. The next question cuts right to the heart of dating itself. Her idea of a perfect night out. Question 7. What's your ideal date? This one, gentleman, is a game changer. You look at her and ask, "What's your idea of a perfect date?" Simple, right? But here's the secret. This single question can save you months, even years of guessing games. Why? Because she's about to tell you, in her own words, exactly how she wants to experience romance. Maybe she smiles softly and describes something intimate. Dinner at a quiet restaurant, followed by a movie, or maybe just cuddling on the couch with a bottle of wine. That tells you she values comfort, closeness, and quality time over flashy gestures. Or maybe her eyes sparkle as she describes something adventurous. Bungee jumping, salsa dancing until sunrise, or exploring a city she's never been to. That's a woman who thrives on energy, excitement, and new experiences. Either way, her answer is a compass. It points directly to her love language. If she's a homebody but you're constantly craving nightlife, there's going to be friction. But if your visions align, every date will feel like you're speaking the same romantic language. Here's the pro move. Don't just ask and forget. Lock her answer away in your memory. And later, maybe weeks or months down the line, surprise her by planning that exact date. Imagine how she'll feel when she realizes you not only listened but remembered. That's the kind of move that makes a man unforgettable. Because here's the truth. Attraction isn't built on grand speeches or perfect lines. It's built on the little moments showing her you listened, you cared, and you acted on it. So when you ask this question, you're not just gathering information. You're setting the stage for connection. Now, the next question goes even deeper. It's not about dates, holidays, or fun memories. It's about trust, vulnerability, and intimacy. Question number 8. Question 8. What's one of your secrets I don't know yet? This one, gentleman, is where the real magic happens. You look at her with curiosity, lower your tone just a little, and ask, what's one of your secrets that I don't know yet? Now pause for a moment, because this isn't just small talk anymore. This is intimacy. When you ask this, you're inviting her to peel back a layer of herself most people never get to see. Maybe she laughs nervously and shares something playful, like the fact that she used to have an embarrassing childhood nickname, or that she's secretly obsessed with cheesy romance novels. That's fun, lighthearted, and it makes her human. But maybe she surprises you. Maybe she opens up about something deeper. A dream she's never shared, a hidden fear, or a personal experience from her past that shaped who she is today. That's vulnerability. And vulnerability is the heartbeat of attraction. Here's the psychology. When someone tells you a secret, no matter how big or small, it creates an instant bond. It's her way of saying, I trust you with this piece of me. And trust, gentlemen, is the currency of connection. Now here's the key. When she shares her secret, don't rush in with a joke or instantly turn the spotlight back on yourself. Hold her gaze. Nod. Let that silence breathe for just a second. Show her without words that you're truly listening. Most men miss this moment. But if you can handle her vulnerability with calm, warmth, and presence, you'll instantly stand out. Because in that moment, she won't just see you as someone she's talking to. She'll feel that you get her. And that feeling, that's rare. So remember, this question isn't about the secret itself. It's about what it represents: trust, intimacy, and emotional depth. Now, once you've unlocked that level of openness, you can shift into something a little lighter but just as revealing. Question number 9. Question 9. If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world, where would you go? Picture this, you lean in and ask her. If you could take a 2-week vacation anywhere in the world, no responsibilities, no work, no limits, where would you go? This is more than just a travel question. It's a window into her cravings. If she lights up and says Vegas, that tells you she's craving excitement, bright lights, and the thrill of constant movement. If she chooses Bali or Maldives, that's a woman longing for rest, calm, and sunshine on her skin. If she says Paris, you know she's a romantic drawn to beauty, art, and experiences that feel timeless. And if she picks something raw and untamed, like the jungles of Costa Rica, it tells you she's hungry for adventure, discovery, and nature. Here's the deeper psychology. When she chooses a destination, she's not just choosing a place to go to. She's revealing what she wants to escape from. Maybe she wants freedom from stress. Maybe she craves romance she doesn't get in her daily life. Maybe she needs adventure because routine has been weighing her down. Now here's how you connect. Don't just nod. Ask why. Ask what she'd do first when she gets there, who she'd bring with her, what she imagines the days would feel like. By getting her to describe it, you're not just listening. You're letting her feel the vacation in her mind. And guess what? You're the one who unlocked that feeling for her. That makes you unforgettable. Question 10. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And how would you use it? Now, for the final question, we're going playful, but don't underestimate it. You ask her, if you could have one superpower, what would it be? And how would you use it? At first glance, it seems fun and light. But hidden inside this question is a direct reflection of her inner desires. If she chooses flying, she probably craves freedom, adventure, and the thrill of exploring beyond limits. If she says teleportation, maybe she loves travel and curiosity, or maybe she just hates waiting and craves instant gratification. If she chooses reading minds, that tells you she wants understanding, maybe even control in a world that often feels uncertain. And if she chooses invisibility, that might mean she values privacy, or she sometimes feels overlooked and secretly wonders what life would be like if she had more power behind the scenes. Here's the beauty. Superpowers are never random. They're reflections of desires, frustrations, and dreams from real life. The fantasy reveals the psychology. But the trick here is the follow-up. Don't just laugh and move on. Ask her why. Ask how she'd actually use that superpower in daily life. That's where the gold is, because her reasoning gives you a glimpse into how she sees herself and how she wants to shape the world around her. And here's the bonus. Once she tells you, share your own. Not just the power but the why. That back and forth doesn't just make the conversation playful. It makes it meaningful. It turns a fantasy into an exchange of values, dreams, and personality. So remember this. When you ask about superpowers, you're not just playing a game. You're unlocking a piece of her inner world most men will never see. And that, gentlemen, is pure gold.